Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying close attention to the NFC East over the past few months, you know that things are heating up. It's been a long time since the Washington Commanders were viewed as serious contenders, and this offseason, everything seems to have shifted. The narrative around this franchise is changing, and it's happening at a rapid pace. Just a few years ago, the Commanders were struggling to find their footing, often considered the underdog, the team that couldn't quite get over the hump, stuck in a cycle of mediocrity that left fans frustrated and wondering if a true rebuild was even possible. But now, the mood is entirely different. The organization has made significant strides, and the outlook for the upcoming season is more optimistic than it's been in decades. What's fueling this optimism? Well, for starters, the leadership structure has been overhauled. The front office, led by new management, has brought in fresh perspectives and a more aggressive approach to roster building. Adam Peters, the new head of player personnel, has been a game changer. He's not only increased standards across the board, but also made some bold, strategic moves to bring in players who can genuinely make a difference. And it's paying off. The team looks more cohesive, more talented, and more hungry for success. The offseason saw a flurry of activity, signings, trades, and draft picks, all aimed at elevating the roster to a new level. And you can already see the impact. The offensive line, which has been a point of concern for years, has undergone some positive changes. The addition of Laremy Tunsil and Josh Kennerly Jr. as the new starting tackles is a clear statement. These two bring a mix of experience, skill, and youth that could finally solidify that line and provide the protection quarterback Sam Howell needs to flourish. And let's not forget that the offensive line is the foundation of any successful team. When the line is solid, the entire offense tends to perform better, and that can be the difference maker in close games, something the Commanders struggled with in recent seasons. But it's not just about the tackles. The interior of the line is also in flux, especially with the addition of Nate Herbig, a versatile player who missed the 2024 season due to injury. Herbig's arrival signals the team's desire for depth and flexibility along the interior. He's shown in the past that he can play anywhere inside, but his best position might be at center. With Tyler Biadasz already entrenched as the starting center, Herbig's role could be that of a key backup, or even a potential starter if he outperforms expectations during training camp. His ability to play multiple positions is a major plus, especially in a league where injuries are inevitable, and depth can make or break your season. The competition on the offensive line is fierce now, and every player knows that their spot isn't guaranteed. On the flip side, some veterans are facing a real test of their job security. Training camp is coming up, and it's often the scenario where players on the fringes need to prove they belong, or they risk getting cut. The roster is more competitive than ever, thanks to the aggressive moves by the front office, and that means some familiar faces might find themselves on the outside looking in if their performances don't meet the high standards set by the coaching staff. We're talking about players who have been around for a while, guys who might have been relied upon in the past, but now are fighting for their spot in a much more cutthroat environment. And this brings us to an interesting point. Who are these veterans? Well, some of the names to watch include players who haven't quite lived up to expectations in recent seasons, or who are simply competing for a limited number of spots. The team's depth chart is evolving rapidly, and the competition is fierce. The coaching staff has made it clear that performance and effort in training camp will directly influence who makes the final roster. That's why every rep, every play, every mistake counts more than ever. If a veteran doesn't bring their A-game, they could find themselves on the outside looking in when the roster is finalized. Now, turning our attention back to the roster, the defense has also seen some notable improvements. The addition of new defensive backs and linebackers shows that the team is serious about shoring up a unit that was sometimes inconsistent last year. The secondary, in particular, has been a focus. With new safeties and cornerbacks, Washington hopes to improve its pass defense, which, in the 2023 season, was ranked around the middle of the league. Improvements here could be the difference in a division where the Eagles and Cowboys are always competitive. Speaking of the NFC East, the division as a whole is becoming more balanced. The Eagles, who have been dominant in recent years, are still a force, but the Cowboys are trending upward, and the Giants are showing signs of growth under new coaching regimes. The Commanders, with their improved roster and fresh energy, are positioning themselves to not just compete, but to contend for the division title. And that's huge because winning the NFC East is often the key to a deep playoff run. It's a division that's historically been tough, and now, for the first time in a while, it looks like Washington could be at the center of the action. The quarterback situation is also worth mentioning. Sam Howell, last year's rookie sensation, has the chance to really take a step forward. The team's confidence in him is evident, and the coaching staff is giving him every opportunity to succeed. Howell's arm talent, mobility, and football IQ are all in place, but now it's about consistency and leadership. If he can continue to develop and lead this offense effectively, the Commanders could have a true franchise quarterback on their hands. The competition behind him is also intense, with young prospects eager to make their mark. That internal competition is healthy and will push everyone to perform at their best. And let's not forget about the fan base. Washington fans have been through a lot over the past few years: disappointments, coaching changes, ownership questions. But now, there's a renewed sense of hope. The energy at training camp is palpable, and the excitement around this team's future is contagious. Fans are finally seeing a team that's building something sustainable, something that could bring the Super Bowl back to the nation's capital. It's a long road, no doubt, but the signs are promising. The franchise's history is filled with ups and downs, but this current moment feels different. It feels like the dawn of a new era, where the Commanders are no longer just a team trying to rebuild but a legit contender in the NFC. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the upcoming training camp promises to be one of the most critical in recent memory. Every player will be fighting for a spot, and the coaching staff will be scrutinizing every detail: technique, effort, attitude. The battle for the final roster spots will be intense, and the decisions made in these next few weeks will shape the team's identity for the season. The front office is clearly committed to winning now, and that means players who show up and show out will have the opportunity to be part of something special. It's a fascinating time for Washington fans, because this is really the beginning of a new chapter, one where the team is aiming high, not just to make the playoffs, but to contend for a Super Bowl. And speaking of Super Bowls, it's important to recognize how far this franchise has come. From the dark days when the team was mired in controversy and struggle, to now, where the organization is making smart moves, investing in talent, and creating a culture of accountability and ambition. The ownership group, led by Josh Harris, has been vocal about their vision for the team, one that competes at the highest level and restores the pride of the Washington football name. Fans are rallying behind that vision, and the players are feeling it too. The energy, the focus, the determination, it's all pointing towards a brighter future. The history of the Washington Commanders is rich, filled with legendary players, iconic moments, and Super Bowl victories. That legacy is something the current roster and coaching staff are well aware of. They're not just trying to build a winning team for this year, they're trying to re-establish a culture of excellence that will endure for years to come. Every draft pick, every signed free agent, every practice is a step towards that goal. And the fans, the true believers, remain the backbone of this journey. They've waited long enough, and now it feels like the stars are aligning for something special. So, in conclusion, what can we expect from the Washington Commanders this season? Well, the signs point to a team that's more talented, more disciplined, and more hungry for success than it's been in recent memory. The roster is shaping up with a mix of experienced veterans and promising young players, all vying for a chance to leave their mark. The coaching staff has emphasized discipline, effort, and smart football, And that combination could be exactly what this team needs to finally break through the division and reach the playoffs, maybe even beyond. The NFC East is no longer a one-team race. It's a multi-team slugfest, and Washington wants to be right in the thick of it. The journey is just beginning, and the excitement is palpable. Fans should be optimistic but also realistic. This is a process. There will be ups and downs, surprises and setbacks, but the overall trajectory feels right. The Commanders are no longer the team on the rise. They are a team that's arrived, ready to compete with the best, with eyes firmly set on the ultimate prize, a Super Bowl. The next few months will be critical, and every training camp drill, every roster decision will be a piece of that puzzle. The future looks bright, and for all the Commanders faithful out there, this is a season to believe in. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.